Welcome to r/slash Am I the Butthole, where we have one of the most unfair stories I've ever seen on this subreddit.
Am I the butthole for ruining my mom's marriage? My mom blames me for her husband filing for divorce. They got married when I, 17 female, was 10. He wanted kids, but mom couldn't have more, so he decided he would be fine being my dad. Only I never saw or accepted him as my dad. I had a dad and he died, but he was still my dad, not someone who married my mom when I was 10. We got along okay. It disappointed him whenever I said no to him adopting me or when I used his first name instead of calling him dad. He called me his daughter and I hated it but never said anything. So he kept calling me his and I'd always correct people calling him my dad. I thought that would tell him nothing was changing on my side. But a few months ago for school, I did a project for art on my parents and I did my mom and dad. It wasn't supposed to be seen by anyone else and I didn't think it would turn into a breakdown, but my teacher emailed it to my mom and he saw it too. She was saying how talented I was and she thought mom should encourage my art more. But seeing that was like the final straw for him. He told mom he couldn't live without being a parent and he thought he could be mine but had never given him the chance to. He said he wasn't going to wait around for me to maybe feel different at 40. He said being 51, he could still find a woman who'll give him kids of his own, and he left mom and filed for divorce. When he was going, he told me he hoped I'd regret rejecting him someday because I had no idea how good I could have had it. Ever since, my mom has blamed me. She told me I needed to make it up to him so he wouldn't go through with the divorce. But I told her I wasn't trying to get him back. She said he's been around almost as long as dad was in my life, and he would have been around to see me get married and give my future kids a grandpa, and now there's nobody. She asked me who I'd call my father figure now. I told her I never called him my father figure. It was always my grandpas who got the title. My mom said the fact that I'd fight her after ruining her marriage showed how little I care about her. I told her I love her and that's why I tried to get along with him. I told her it's not like I wanted someone else when my dad died, but I knew she did, so I accepted him into the household. But I would never let someone else be my dad, so that'd be her husband. She claimed I was making excuses and she'll feel more shame about ruining such a good thing. Am I the butthole? First of all, you are absolutely not the asshole. You had a dad you loved, and it's okay that you didn't want anyone else to take his place. Your stepdad wanted to be a parent, but it wasn't your job to make him happy. Decisions about marriage and divorce are for adults to make, not you. Your mom is upset, but it's unfair to blame you for their marriage ending. Am I the butthole for giving my husband an ultimatum? My husband has always been the most sweet and amazing guy, but recently he's been different. He hasn't had much patience, seems a bit angry all the time. I've tried asking him what's wrong, but he wouldn't talk to me like he normally would. It's been like this for 3 weeks now. Our daughter is 15. The other day she went out with some friends, and before she left, my husband, who would usually tell her to have a good time and be safe, got into an argument with her about how she's wasting time with terrible friends. I asked him why he would say something like that, but he told me to forget it. He told her she better not be late for her curfew in the most aggressive way I've ever heard him talk to her. When she finally comes home, it's 30 minutes past her curfew. He's waiting for her in the living room. He starts lecturing her and she starts walking away from him. He goes behind her and grabs her arm and spins her around while yanking. He kept holding on and got in her face and started screaming at her and cussing her out. I had to push him off to get him to stop, and our daughter ran to her room crying. I then asked him if he had lost his fucking mind. I told him if he doesn't want to tell me what's wrong, then he'll have to leave until he can behave. Am I going too far by forcing him to leave and giving him an ultimatum? Nothing like this has ever happened before in our household. And I don't even know what I'm feeling. I was literally shaking after it happened. Am I the butthole for not wanting my daughter's party turned into a pregnancy announcement? Well, if anyone smelled smoke today, it was probably the dumpster fire that was my daughter's birthday party. Firstly, father-in-law actually seemed to take the news pretty well. Surprisingly, mother-in-law was more angry that he waited so long to tell them. No scene was made. However, every conversation from that point forward was all about the baby and pregnancy and how girlfriend told her parents, is there a name yet, etc. Mother-in-law made a comment about how my husband and now could give brother-in-law and girlfriend all the baby stuff we're not using anymore. As an added bonus, brother-in-law also decided to use this opportunity to tell everyone Him and his girlfriend are engaged, and they're planning a big move to relocate closer to her family and us, I guess, before she's due. So on top of the baby questions, there was also conversations about wedding planning and house hunting. As another addition, my sister and her daughter came, except my niece has an active staph infection and has been on antibiotics for 24 hours. But this wasn't mentioned to us until the party was almost over. It was assumed to not be a big deal because all open wounds were covered and she'd had 24 hours of antibiotics. My husband was furious and pulled me to the side to say some not nice things about it. After that, I shut down. I isolated myself, putting together my daughter's new toys. Everyone left pretty early and everyone was feeling tense. I'm feeling upset and defeated, and now I have to monitor my 3 young kids for signs of a staph infection and try to sanitize my house. I think I'm done having parties for a while.